Welcome to our special edition of KHOU 11 News at 10 as we watch the results slowly come in. Good evening, I'm Len Cannon.
And hello there, I'm Mia Gradney. It is going to be a long night for election workers, especially after all election locations in Harris County were ordered to stay open an extra hour due to a court order after problems at multiple polling locations. And when we say all, we mean every single one of these 782 polling sites across the county. You're looking live at the Count Center coming up in just a second at election headquarters that's in NRG Arena.
We have team coverage at NRG with a look at the lawsuit over the problems we're talking about and the impact it is having on ballot counting tonight. We start with Cheryl Mercedes and that lawsuit. Cheryl.
Hey, good evening, Len, Mia. That lawsuit filed by the Texas Organizing Project just around 4 o'clock this afternoon after multiple delays caused voters to wait in line for 2+ hours, some of them having to go to a different location to cast their ballot. Specifically, the court document shows 10 locations, addresses to 10 locations, some you've seen here on KHOU, where folks said they were having issues. It also cites specific things like unavailable keys and broken machines that caused problems. Now, a judge allowed voters this afternoon to cast their ballots until 8 o'clock, but the Texas Supreme Court issued a stay, so now it is unclear when those votes cast between 7 and 8 o'clock will actually be counted, and that has some folks frustrated.
We got here 7:45 and was explained to it's going to be a provisional vote. We'll see if it happens. And then we got inside the door and basically the Supreme Court said, nope, not going to happen. So wasted about whatever time it is, wasted all that time.
How does it feel?
Doesn't feel great at all. It's very upsetting. I'm very livid.
I spoke with Ashley Harris. She's an attorney with the ACLU, and she tells me that the lawsuit that was filed this afternoon at 4 o'clock, that was based specifically on issues with times of opening and delays. And it had nothing to do with the issues of some places running out of paper that came later on in the day. Len, Mia?
Yes, some problems we did not expect, some legal issues that cropped up we didn't see coming. Cheryl, thank you.
Let's turn now to Adam Bennett with what's happening at election headquarters right now at this moment. Adam?
Mia, things have gotten a lot busier here at Energy Arena within the last hour. Take a look behind me. So far, 28 polling sites have returned their equipment and their votes so far. During a typical election, we usually see the first results start arriving about an hour after the polls close. Well, tonight, because of those extended poll hours due to that court action, that is an hour later than usual. Take a look at some video. This was about an hour ago. The first election judges drove here into Energy Arena's parking lot with their equipment just after 9. Remember, they are driving in from 782 polling sites that are spread out over a land area larger than Rhode Island. So it's going to take a while, and it's then brought inside where 2 machines are tabulating all of those electronic cards holding 333,000 votes cast on election day alone.
And if we're lucky and those 782 get themselves all into us by midnight, then we'll be reading V drives from midnight until we get them all completed.
Yeah, and so far, out of those 28 polling sites that have returned their equipment, I'm told that chain of custody has been completed and tabulation has started on 4 of those sites. The equipment rather from 4 of those sites. Now, election officials tell us they plan to release results on the hour, every hour, until they have all of the unofficial results in from election day. Len, Mia?
Results with the biggest race in Texas, perhaps. That is the one for Texas governor. And CBS News has already called this for Governor Greg Abbott, who is being challenged by Democrat Beto O'Rourke. And again, CBS News has called this race for Governor Abbott. We have team coverage on the governor's race. Gerald Harris is with O'Rourke's camp in El Paso. But we start with Marcelino Benito in McAllen, where the governor is watching the results coming in and very happy. Marcelino?
Well, Len, Governor Abbott just took the stage here moments ago. Moments before him, he was introduced by the mayor of McAllen, who said, you know, Governor Greg Abbott should get an apartment here because he's been down to South Texas so much. Let's take a listen to him as he declares victory here in McAllen.
Because Republicans that we endorsed were elected
from Nueces County to Cameron County, Hidalgo County, and all the way over to Terrell County on the border and counties in between. So I want to say tonight, congratulations to the next generation of Republicans who were elected tonight. They will be tremendous representatives at whichever level they serve. So I ran this campaign for Texans to have safer streets, for homeowners who are burdened with skyrocketing property taxes, for our oil field workers who beg for me to protect their jobs, for parents who just want to choose the school that's best for their child, and for small business owners who thank me in every location I went to for keeping their jobs open and businesses open during the time of COVID. For the farmers and ranchers down here on the border who pleaded.
Governor Abbott told supporters there was an intention behind being here in South Texas in McAllen in the Rio Grande Valley. He wanted to celebrate his victory here. He launched his campaign here in January. He won his primary night victory and celebrated here in South Texas. And tonight he wins a third term for Texas governor in South Texas. He says he's sending a strong message across the country that the GOP is here to play in South Texas and that Republicans can win in this part of the state. We'll send it back to you.
A victorious Governor Abbott tonight down in McAllen. Marcelino Benito there with him on the campaign trail as he gives his victory speech and continues to do so. We'll let you get back to it, Marcelino. Thank you. Let's turn now to Gerald Harris, who is with Beto O'Rourke's camp in his hometown of El Paso. And let's hear how he's responding to this news, Gerald.
Yeah, it wasn't enough for Beto O'Rourke tonight, and we're expecting him to come and greet and talk with his supporters here in El Paso. The exit polls are going to be critical in determining where did this campaign fail, where were the shining moments, and what can the Democrats build on. Not only with this election, but future elections coming up. But there simply wasn't enough votes that turned out for Beto O'Rourke, who was dependent on young voters, Latino voters, college-age voters to come out, African-American voters also to come out in big numbers to get him over the edge. And what has been shown tonight is that Texas is a solidly red state, especially in midterm years, and there's still a lot for them to go to the drawing board and determine what they have to do to fix the next election and determine what they can do to win. But for now, we're expecting again a Beto O'Rourke to come out and concede this election to Governor Greg Abbott, who has just won his third term as Texas governor. Back to you guys.
Gerald Harris, thank you. Now we want to take a closer look at the governor's race.
Yeah, take a deep dive here. Grace White in the newsroom with how specific counties appear to be voting so far. Grace?
Let's take a look now at how those numbers are breaking down. These are statewide results. Right now we have the governor at 55%, O'Rourke at 44%. Bob, that's an 11-point spread, and we've seen that grow throughout the night.
Yeah, I mean, it's growing as we're seeing more of the West Texas and Panhandle votes come in. And most importantly, we're now going well over 60%, closer to 65%. This looks like 218 margins.
Let's zero into Harris County where we are here. We're still waiting for a significant part of the vote, but no surprise there. O'Rourke leading in Harris County 54%.
Yep. Nothing here surprised, but we've got to wait till tomorrow to see the election day vote.
Another big county we're watching up in the Dallas area, Tarrant County. This was blue in 2020. Now we're seeing it flip. Abbott leading there 51%.
This is a flip of exactly what happened in 2018 for the KHOU's Beto race.
And finally, we're looking on the border where a lot of money has been spent in this race. Leaning blue, let's take a look back at 2018 when Beto O'Rourke came within just a few points of Senator Ted Cruz. He did very well on the border in 2018. And Bob, it looks like that is playing out tonight. Although I will say Republicans, we have seen leaning, making some wins, leaning to make some wins.
We'll have to see the canvas and the numbers here. But the important story tonight is that the Republicans took one of the 3 congressional seats that they had redrawn. You can draw districts, you can't redraw counties. That's why I think Republicans are feeling well and happy tonight.
All right, thank you, Bob. We'll send it back to you, Len and Mia in the studio.
We'll pick it up from here. Thank you, Grace, and our political analyst, Bob Stein, tonight. Now to the biggest election in Harris County, talking about the race for Harris County judge. We have Democrat Lena Hidalgo being challenged by Republican Alexandra Mealer. And right now, looking at the results, and keep in mind these are early votes because of all that is transpiring with the Harris County Election Center. And with the early vote count so far, it looks like Lina Hidalgo has the slight lead here with 51% of the vote compared to Alexandra Mealer's 49%. We have team coverage on both sides of this race. Lauren Tallarico is with Mealer's camp at Kirby Ice House. But let's start with Jason Miles at Chapman and Kirby at Hidalgo's watch party. Have you seen her yet, Jason?
Yeah, we're in Edo, where we expect Judge Hidalgo to speak around 11 o'clock, we're told. We just got an update from some of her campaign staff. The stage actually moved outside in the last 30 minutes or so because it was getting so crowded inside as people continue to watch the election results. Now, Hidalgo spending much of the morning and afternoon at polling locations across Harris County, including the very busy West Gray Multi-Service Center. Her challenger, Alex Mealer, also spending time there today. At last check, Hidalgo leading Mealer by a couple of points. Again, as you mentioned, early voting results at this point. The election somewhat of a mandate on Hidalgo's 4 years as the county's first female county judge. She points out flood control enhancements, expanded social services as among her accomplishments. Obviously, there has been some issues as well. Her last elections administrator had to resign after being criticized on how the last election was handled. And of course, several officials in her administration also under indictment. But again, we expect to hear from Judge Hidalgo sometime in the next hour or so. Reporting live from Edo, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
And Hidalgo with that slight lead right now with just those early voting numbers. Jason Miles, thank you.
All right, Lauren Tallarico is with Alexandra Mealer's camp at Kirby Ice House. Lauren?
Well, Alexandra Mealer is here tonight, and I've got to say, she seems pretty cool, calm, and collected. Of course, she's the Republican, as you just heard from Jason, who's hoping to oust Judge Lina Hidalgo. Now, one of the standouts with this candidate is she seemed to garner support from a broad spectrum. Endorsements include several police officers' unions, the Houston Chronicle, and even former Democratic City Council member Sue Lovell. Tonight, Mealer told us that she's feeling pretty good.
So I think we're all very excited. You know, Republicans typically vote election day, and so to be this tight, we have even a few of our judicial races that they're up, but they're all neck and neck right now, and so we'll just be waiting for the votes to roll in this evening, but very excited to see that so much people really resonated with our message so far.
The West Point and Harvard Law School grad says her #1 priority is cutting crime, which includes hiring some 1,000 new law enforcement officers and also getting new judges in. Whether her platform is enough to unseat Hidalgo, of course, we'll just have to wait and see. Those early numbers, though, still show they are neck and neck. Len, Mia.
Lauren Tallarico, thank you. We have plenty more election coverage ahead, but in the meantime, you can scan the QR code right there on your screen and bookmark the link on your phone so you can get real-time results throughout the night and tomorrow as well.